Now coming back to you live from the park, I'm Zach.
I'm Sean. That's a leaf, a very blurry leaf.
Did you get my leaf at all?
There we go. Is that not the leaf? What the?
That was the leaf.
Goodness gracious.
I thought I tore it apart like a fool.
So, Zach, I told you I had a little story for you today.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, a little story. So we had a house meeting, which is just where all the staff working at my house all meet together and talk about things, whatever.
Okay.
Right. And my manager was like, so we need to start thinking about Christmas decorations. I know people have strong opinions, so like, when do you guys want those to come up? And they start arguing. Obviously, I don't care. And he's like, okay, but I do think we need to get the Christmas lights on the house up sooner than later. And we're like, oh yeah, that makes sense. He's like, anyone willing to do that? And I'm like, I can do it, I guess. He's like, cool, thank you, Sean. I will not be going up there. I have a phobia of heights and snakes.
Those two things are very related.
So, like, he says snakes, and I look around at everybody else, and they all look just a little bit confused on why he said snakes. He's like, so yeah, like literally my wife every year puts up the Christmas lights because I will not go on the roof. So I will not be going up there. I'm like, and this is the part I wanted to tell you about. I go, why are there snakes up there?
You did not.
You gotta realize, I've been working here for like a month and a half. And it was like 9 o'clock at night, because that's when the meeting's happening. And I was just like a little bit tired. I'd already had school that day, and it was out of my mouth before I could even think about it.
Awesome.
And he's like, what? Oh, haha. And then other people are like, that's a good one. And as he's like, okay, haha. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
That's like one of those moments, like, that would have been so good to say in the moment. But Sean just went out and said it. He just didn't even think about it twice.
I didn't give myself time to think. It was out of my mouth. I was like, oops.
Snakes up there. Oh my gosh. It's so perfect.
This is why spoiler alert.
What?
There were no snakes up there.
Oh.
It was disappointing for everyone involved, which was only me.
I mean, were the Christmas
But I'll
lights
tell you
like
what
the
did
snakes?
happen. I'll tell you what did happen. I tore my pants up there. Because I was just sitting on the roof.
And ripped his pants.
Yeah, I was just sitting on the roof, and I was stupid and didn't really think about it, and just kept, like, when I was scooting over, I didn't lift up high enough. So my pants, like, and it was great because it wasn't just that they were torn. They were, like, very, like, threadbare at the end of it. And because of, like, the color of the, what are those things on the top of roofs called?
Shingles?
Yeah, shingles. Because of the color and oldness of the shingles, it looked like I just pooped my pants.
That's incredible.
It looked like, not just pooped my pants, it looked like I diarrheaed everywhere in my pants. Like, it was just this giant circular brown stain with holes. So not just diarrhea all over my pants, but diarrhea explosion that ripped and burst forth out of the pants.
The real question is, how much longer at work did you have?
I had like an hour, but that hour was mostly because they already made dinner. I spent most of the time on the roof, so most of that hour was spent just kind of sitting there, so it wasn't that big of a deal.
That's so funny.
If I'd been working at the UPS store and ripped all my pants, that would have been more of a problem. But like there, I was just like, okay, I'll just sit down and wait. So yeah. Anyways, I didn't poop my pants.
So Sean
if there were snakes up there, I might have pooped my pants.
And threw some puns at his boss this week. That's the extent of what Sean's done.
It wasn't really a pun, but it's okay.
That's true.
It was a joke. It was a poorly thought out sentence.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
If no one else does, Sean, I'm just glad it actually happened.
Anyways, I also just want to say I've been crinkling leaves.
Oh, I've been tearing them apart right here. So.
And I feel bad because I do notice that occasionally when I'm editing these, where you can just hear like us tearing the grass, you know.
So here's the thing: we have to have our background noise. And there's no cars to drive by us right here, so we gotta like...
It's gotta be us.
Really get those leaves in there. Do you remember that? What episode? I think it was the first episode we did, where that plane came over at like the perfect timing.
I think it was the first
At that
episode.
moment of silence was like,
It was so loud. Yeah, we don't have enough planes flying over around here.
disappointing, actually.
Zach, be a plane. Go. That's a terrible plane
And the
noise.
engines were still starting.
Oh. Still terrible.
Oh.
I'll give you like a 4 out of 10.
I'll take it.
Yeah, you will.
Because seeing the effort I put into that one.
How I feel about a lot of my assignments at school. I'll take that. Considering the effort I put in, I'll take it.
Hey, it's not as bad as I thought. I relate too much this semester.
I'm just
oh my
kidding.
Goodness.
I work sometimes. It's not a big deal. It's whatever.
That somehow like made me more concerned. It's like it's
No,
what it is.
I'm actually excited. I'm actually excited for the bigger assignments, like this paper that I have coming up. I'm actually excited for because it's a.
Is that why you've been procrastinating it?
No, it's because I don't want to actually start. But like I'm excited to get into it because it's a case study, where I have to choose a celebrity. Don't raise your hand, Zach. You haven't let me finish. Who has either physical or mental illnesses or both. Stop raising your hand. Being a furry doesn't count as a mental illness.
I went so long without being right
So, and I have to choose someone and just do like a full evaluation of them. And I have to pretend that I'm basically suggesting them to have some sort of treatment as well.
So, Sean, I'm just saying, I'm available if you need a test subject. I am pretty famous. That's all I heard with your sentence.
Honestly, I probably could choose you. Because you said it just has to be a real person. But I've already decided I'm choosing the rapper NF.
Wow, he hates me.
Because he's diagnosed with OCD.
Sean hates me.
And I like him, so that's cool. I don't like you, so.
It's understandable.
No. Well, here's the thing. I would never choose anyone I'm actually close to because I don't want to have to do a psychological evaluation of them because that would require me. You do not understand, man. I have to learn your history, family history, history of just like so many things, like how much money you're making. Like it's a fully in-depth thing. Dang. And you don't want me to know you that well. And frankly, I don't want to know you that well.
I'm just saying, Sean, if you knew me that well, like, it's no big deal. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Okay.
I just want to be famous. That's what I'm hearing.
I just want to be famous.
That's actually really interesting, though. Like, as an assignment.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like a lot of work, but it does seem like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it'll be cool. And it's very applicable to the real world, especially for people who do become clinical psychologists. Not that I'm saying I will, because PhDs are hard. But like for those who do, psychological evaluations like that are actually a very highly sought after thing right now because they're very highly required to get a full like understanding of someone, but not that many people can do them. So you get a lot of money for them, basically.
So Sean, you like have a future plan there then. Okay.
I'm just saying it's good practice if I go that far. That's what it is.
Very cool.
But yeah, anyways, now that I've rattled on for that, do you have anything to talk about today?
Now that I've taken up the entire episode, do you have any closing remarks for us?
It's got half the episode left. You're fine. Quit being a baby.
No, you're fine. And actually, like, I have a few thoughts, but I don't know, like, if we're actually going to talk about them the whole time. So I'm glad we just, like, ramble. Wow. I wish, like, they could see what just happened as well. Like, that's part of the experience.
My ASMR technique knows no bounds.
You've been practicing.
You know I have, man.
In the mirror?
No, well, here's the thing.
Where else do you practice?
I sleep next to Allison now, so every night I just grab some leaves and crinkle them over her ear.
And then you tell her to buy our merch, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just like this. It's just like this. Here. Life has no meaning. All will die. We don't know for sure what will happen. Buy our merch.
Just broke me. I'm just saying, if that's how I woke up in the morning, I wouldn't even complain.
Being told that life has no meaning.
Well, I've been saying that for years now, Sean. So basically,
Not
that just means I
different.
converted somebody.
Understandable.
So, the thing I want to talk about today, wow, I'm like trying not to laugh still. Is we kind of talked about it in 2 of my classes, and it's something that I thought about, which is a little bit interesting because I think I might be different than most people in this way.
Oh, you're just special, huh? Yeah. You're just an important person. But the rest of us, we're... Okay, I'm sorry. Never mind.
I'm glad that you understand where we're going with this.
I'm just kidding. Keep going.
No, it's about, like, social groups and, like, a sense of belonging. And then it can be anything. Like, it could be, like, a few examples was, that we had in class, was, like, feeling a belonging or part of the social group of, like, just a company like Coca-Cola. And, like, being part of that brand and seeing yourself as, like, a member of that.
Like you buy the drink, so you're like a member of the Coca-Cola brand.
Right, like you have all these options, like you could go buy, right?
But
you buy
Coke
Coca-Cola,
person.
and you see yourself as that kind of person.
Yeah.
And one of the examples in my life I was just thinking of just the other day was, I'm now in my 3rd year at UVU, right? And just now I feel like maybe I have even like the slightest connection to UVU in general. like now I'm finally a student at UVU. I've been here for 2.5 years, almost on my 3rd year now, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
I feel like for me, in some things it takes me like a lot longer to view myself as a part of that group. Because like, example is like I've been working at Learning Techniques for about to start my 6th month. And part of me still feels like an outsider almost.
Right.
Even though I've been there for nearly half a year now. But then like with other things, it's like I could find a really cool YouTuber or something I like, and like within a week I'm like, okay,
I'm with this
guy. Yeah, I'm with this guy. Like this is cool.
Yeah.
But I feel like for the most part, it takes me a bit longer to actually view myself as part of that social group. So I want, like, what are your thoughts with social groups and like a sense of belonging? Just in general.
I think I had a leaf in my mouth.
Dude.
Sorry.
So would you say you belong to the group of people with leaves in your mouth?
I'm just like, I'm kind of a leaf guy. I don't know. I'm kind of quirky. I'm a leaf guy. I like what you said. And I would agree. I ponder, especially when you talk about like UVU and like school. Because, like, I think schools have very strong power to create those type of groups.
Yes.
Right? But I think it's very easy to separate yourself from it in some way. And I think this applies to all of them. But I think what makes you start to feel a part of it is when you start participating in something in some way. So I'm relating this back both to my college experience and high school experience. So I'm thinking of in high school, my first year, like I was in bell choir, but like other than that, I didn't really do anything. I was also in German club. There was like 3 other members. The club was literally the class. So there's 14 members technically, and only 3 people went to the club. And then I stopped going because only 3. But so I didn't really do anything. I didn't feel much of a connection with our high school, you know, Lehigh Pride, whatever.
Right.
I go to school, I go home, right? And I don't think, I'm not saying that I was ever like, Purple Pride, you know, I was never that guy. But like, I do remember feeling when I joined cross country, and I can't remember, I think it might have been my first like cross country meet, where we all, before the race, got in a circle and we did our cheer and we held up like our Lehigh tomahawk thing, and we were all like yelling, oh yeah, and it was someone in the center yelling, want some? And we're all yelling, get some! I don't even know why still, but I remember in that moment suddenly feeling something where I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like a part of it. I'm like part of this school now. Like I'm the cross country team. So participation in that team, and once again, like it's not like I was like full gung-ho Lehigh Pride or anything, but like that participation in that team and feeling a part of that group was what suddenly pushed me toward like feeling some sort of that direction, at least.
Okay, so I fully agree that I do think just engagement and interaction within the group goes a long way with feeling like you're an actual member of that group.
Yeah.
And it's interesting you brought up high school, because I was the same way.
Yeah.
I was like, I went to Lehigh High, right? Like, that's as much as I, like, that's all that matters. But the only time I did really feel like I cared about, like, the outcome of something was when I was on swim team for a semester. And that was like, hey, I want my team to win, right?
Right.
Like, because, like, I guess I'm a part of it.
You know, as I ponder, you know, the groups that I ever felt any strength toward, I think because I don't think it was ever like the traditional ones, like high school or even like really my scout group or something like that, you know? Like the groups I feel strongly about are like a family, of course.
Right.
But then like our friend group. Like that's like a big one. I feel very strongly about being a member of our friend group. Like my hacky sack friends. I was one of the hacky sackers, you know? I felt strongly about that. I enjoyed that. And I'm fine with people being like, oh, you were one of those kids who played hacky sack in high school, you know? Like
that was me.
So I think for me, at least, a lot of like the group participation, I didn't like the more traditional ones, which I think you might agree with.
Yeah. And I think that's actually kind of part of just my social groups that I'm part of. I feel like I never wanted to be part of those groups, almost. Like, I didn't want to be that guy at the football games that's like freaking out because we scored a touchdown.
Right.
Or I didn't want to be that guy who went to every single sports game that we had because Lehigh Pride is like, I just didn't feel that connection, right?
Yeah.
But I did feel, especially in high school, I was a gamer. That was what I did. And I felt a lot more strongly to like that and that group of people than I did to my high school.
Yeah.
So I do think that part of like maybe the speed in which you feel part of a group comes with the desire as well.
Yeah.
Because if you have that want, I feel like you're going to try to integrate yourself faster than if you didn't have it.
So let me ask you this. So we're establishing that we're non-traditional in our group choices.
I suppose.
Is that a really weird way to say that? So do you think, and this is a conversation I've had with Corby and Allison before, but do you think we've missed anything? Or do you feel bad about missing anything like those football games in high school or stuff like that? Or whatever's going on at UVU, I have no idea. Like, do you feel bad that you're missing that? Or do you think in the future you'll feel bad about missing the stuff at UVU? Do you feel bad about missing anything in high school? Is there any like deep regrets? Yeah, let's talk about deep regrets you have. Do you feel any regrets toward like that type of like missing out on group involvement?
See, that's really interesting because, especially at least with high school right now, like in my thoughts, I don't regret my choices of what I chose to. Like, there are obviously regrets from high school, and like maybe time management especially, but like with the groups I was a part of, I don't really think so. Like, I wouldn't go back and want to go to every football game still. Like,
right.
Whereas in UVU, now that like I have a year and a half left of college after this semester, I've actually started to have this feeling like maybe like I will regret not starting things early, like just going to maybe an activity or two and just seeing what it's like. Because like I do think that the college experience is like that thing that like you're gonna look back on for years, right?
Right.
And like everyone's like, oh, my college experience was great. I went to all these parties, or like I was part of this awesome club, or I would do all these extracurricular activities and like see my professors and stuff. And like I go to school and I go home.
Yeah.
There is nothing else there. So I don't know. Maybe there will be like a sense of regret in that sense, but
yeah. Every single person I've spoken to about this and it's our friends, so they've all been like, no, there's not really any regrets from high school, and I agree. There's no I don't care. I didn't care about going to football games or dances or whatever. Like I went to a few of those, but like
Yeah.
you know, I don't feel regret toward that. I think it's interesting you talk about. I haven't really pondered too much about the college experience and if I'll regret anything in it. Honestly, I feel like, and maybe I'm like, this could change obviously, but I feel like it'll be the same almost. Where I'm like, I think the only things I would regret are like not building better relationships with either classmates or professors.
Okay.
I think that's the only thing I would really regret, because that could potentially help me more in the future.
Right.
But otherwise, like, I don't know. I don't feel like when I see a bunch of booths set up around the school, I'm like, you know?
Like, please don't wave at me or
Yeah,
make eye contact.
right, like,
let me walk by in peace.
Don't come over and give me a bag of condoms, please. Like, did I tell you about that?
No. What happened?
It was last semester. Yeah, and it was Valentine's Day. Or the week of Valentine's Day or something. And I was just, normally I just walk straight to the train station, but my brother was leaving school early that day. So he was like, hey, if you wait for me here, then I was waiting for him to tell me where to meet him. Okay. So I was just in the Hall of Flags.
You were just hanging out.
I was just hanging out in the Hall of Flags. I had my headphones on. I was doing homework. And I was waiting. I'm never in the Hall of Flags because that's the zone you don't want to be in. That's where people are.
That's where a lot of people are.
But unfortunately, Cole's in the engineering building and I'm in the Clark building, which are on the opposite side. So I was trying to find a nice middle ground for us, you know?
Hall of Flags, perfect.
Right. So then these people, I saw them when I walked over, but I was like, okay, I have headphones on and I'm clearly
Surely
busy.
They won't come talk to me.
They walk right up to me. They have a cart.
No.
There's these two girls. And the one girl's like, hey, and I have to like take my headphones off and pause my music. I'm like, hey, and she's like, so we're just talking to people about healthy relationships. What do you think is something that's important in a healthy relationship? And I'm like, communication. She's like, yeah, absolutely. Here's this flyer. It has just some other things about healthy relationships. And then also if like some warning signs you're not in a healthy relationship. And then also here's this little thing. It's just a healthy relationship kit. And I'm like, okay. And she's like, it basically just has, you know, like condoms in it and stuff. I'm like, okay.
Hey.
And she's like, yeah. Then she just like walked away. And
that's so awesome.
And I carried that bag of condoms in my backpack for the rest of the semester. Because I was like, what do I do with this?
Like, I can't just.
Like, what am I going to do with this? So anyways, that did happen.
You didn't tell me about this sooner?
I'm surprised.
Is incredible.
I could have sworn it came up.
No! Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's when.
So what I'm hearing is do not go to the Hall of Flags. Okay.
That's when my coworker Seth back at the UPS store, he was trying to decide. I can't remember. He was trying to decide if he should go to BYU or UVU or what. And I was like, hey man, UVU is the type of school that hands out bags of condoms. So if that's what you're into.
That is so funny. I think my favorite part is that like they saw you didn't want to be ignored and they're like, we're going for him. Get him.
I like that there's like an assumption there that you're in a relationship, which I was, to be fair. But like I feel like I'm pretty good at looking just annoyed at everybody in general. So like, what the fetch, man? Anyways.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So Sean, do you feel any connection to that group? That's what I really need to know.
The Condom Group?
Yeah. I mean, you carried it in your backpack the rest of the semester, so like, surely there was somebody else who did that.
All I'm saying is, I'm kind of a leaf guy, and I'm kind of a condom guy.
Thank you all so much for watching. I'm out! I'm Sean! And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye! Spicy Nuggs! Spicy Nuggs is our friend.
Never be on selfie.
What do you mean?
No.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Okay.
Especially if it's pointed towards Sean.
I hate it.
I hate you. It's been a little bit since that one's come out.
So, speaking of the I hate you and the Star Wars thing, so this month was Allison's birthday and my sister-in-law's birthday.
Okay.
And at both occasions, it started at my sister-in-law's because her birthday was earlier. Nikki was like, me and Nikki were talking, and Allison were like, we need to sing. She's like, we need to sing Happy Birthday. I'm like, okay. I was like, but let's do. She's like, we should do like, what is it called, the funeral march? I'm like, like really slow. She's like, no, like Darth Vader. I'm like, oh, the Imperial March. So we did. We like practiced it a little bit quietly to ourselves. And then we started singing it, and it was like, happy birthday, except for she was singing,
awesome.
and I was beatboxing.
This is incredible.
So at both of those, she's like, and I'm just like, anyways, you can imagine.
That might be the greatest birthday song I've never had the opportunity to hear.
It came out of nowhere, but it actually turned out decent considering what we were working with, which was me.
Can I like hire you to sing at my birthday?
Yeah,
Nice.
of course.
But I want that exact
I
thing.
do charge by the minute.
By the minute?
By the minute.
I mean, that makes sense. I'll have you come in right when we start singing, and you're leaving right after you're done.
I include gas.
Oh, and a slice of cake, right?
What?
And a slice of cake? Like, you have to have a slice of cake.
A slice. A slice.
Oh, Sean wants the whole cake. Wow, you charge a lot for your birthday songs.
I'm not playing around, man.
I mean,
Yo, look at this leaf.
I've heard the reviews are pretty good so far.
Look at this leaf, though. Look at all the, like, colors happening.
Yeah, that's the leaf, Sean. The red in it's cool.
Yeah.
Mike.
Anyways.
This was a cool one.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Here, wait. Let's get a shot of that.
Oh.
And we can start the video with this. Okay, we can't see it at all. Is it your turn to start? I don't even know.
I think it is.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah.